So thank you guys for being on today. I totally like brain farted this call. I was like, my husband kept asking, like, what do you have going on tomorrow? And I was like, I don't think I really have that much going on. I have to do a team call in the evening. And then this morning I was like laying in bed. I'm like, I'm totally forgetting something. And I was like, oh, duh. We have a Zoom call that I totally forgot to post about in the group. So anyways, thank you guys for hopping on. So today I wanted to, like, the whole purpose of the Zoom calls, I want to kind of do like rotating topics. So like this week we'll focus on like talking about like recruiting and kind of like doing some brainstorming, and hopefully get some tips from each other on how we recruit, or just kind of like our best like practices as far as recruiting goes. And then next week we can talk about like, I don't know, we can just do like rotating kind of topic. So if there's something that like you guys really want like other input on, like how to run your talent, like running challenge groups to like keep them exciting, or we can do one on like getting your new coaches started out right, or leadership, or just whatever kind of topics that you guys feel like would be beneficial for you to kind of mastermind with other people on. I want to kind of have like a focus every week. That way we're not just like sitting on here wasting time, because I feel like I've been on other Zoom calls and we literally just talk like, this is what's going on with me, this is what's going on with you, like, so I want it to be productive for everyone and feel like we can walk away from it with like good stuff that we can like implement in our own businesses. So I was thinking today, so we'll have, so since we're talking about like recruiting, so I want you guys to kind of think about like just like your best tips on recruiting. So like how you recruit, where your best coaches come from, and kind of like your technique as far as how you maybe make the invite to those people. And then, so we'll have everybody talk for like 5 or 7 minutes or so, since there's not too many of us. And then we can, at the end, we can do like a little Q&A if people have questions. So, I can go first. I want you guys, like, when you introduce yourselves, I want you to say like where you're from, what your rank is, who your upline is, and then like what your push goal is for like the end of the year. So I'll go first. So I'm Mackenzie, obviously. I am from Elk Grove, California. So it's like 20 minutes outside of Sacramento. And I am currently a 1-star diamond. My upline coach is Lindsay Matway, and my push goal for the end of the year is 5-star diamond. So as far as recruiting goes, for me, this has been kind of like an area where I like go in like spurts. So I find that like some months I'll be like recruiting really hard, and then some months I'm recruiting mostly challengers. And I don't know if it's just, I think it's more of a mental thing for me. So I'm working really hard on kind of shifting my mental like state to thinking that I deserve leaders on my team. But I found that my best recruiting has been probably from my challenge groups. And in my challenge groups, I have I always kind of had this like nervous part of me that didn't want to address the fact that people were on HD. Like when I was a brand new coach, like I literally, this is so bad, but I would literally like not even tell people. Like I would assume, which is probably why I need to read that book. I would assume that people like read the fine print and they knew that they were on HD. And I was super, super like strict about that. Like I've always required Shakeology for my groups, but in the beginning, I kind of never would even like touch on the issue as far as Shakeology. And I totally wish I wouldn't have done that, because I feel like it made me, like it took away like credibility from me by not being like really upfront with people and assuming that people like read everything. Because I was like scared, I think as a like brand new baby coach, like scared to address the cost issue. And I don't know when I started doing it, but I started like private messaging people and just like letting them know, because I found that, people would obviously, if they didn't know about the HD, they'd be pissed when they got billed for it, and then they would cancel it, and then I'd have to deal with refunds, or they would just cancel it and not say anything. But a lot of times I had people that were staying on HD, and I was making the commission off of them every month instead of rolling them into being a discount coach. And so one of the things that I've done this last, probably the last year, is I have put a post in our preseason or kind of like prep week, just letting everybody know basically the difference between staying a customer and what they would pay as a customer on Shakeology versus being a discount coach. And I like break it all down, like with the cost and the difference between the two. And if they want to work the business, they can. If they don't want to work in the business, that's totally fine. And this is something that has actually really helped me bring on a lot of discount coaches, because I found that for a while I was so focused on the money part and the commission part that my retention wasn't good. And even though I was hitting Success Club and I was always getting new people on board, I found that like my retention wasn't as good. So I really thought about like, well, what is the disadvantage for me for bringing on these people as discount coaches? So, obviously you lose a little bit of money in commission, but I found that my retention rate became so much better because people were saving money on their Shakeology, and they were staying on it so much longer. So I've built like a pretty decent sized team, but so many of them are discount coaches. So right now I'm kind of struggling with recruiting more business building coaches. But I've also found that I run a local moms group, and we have, this is actually like totally not even, it's something I did on purpose is when I started coaching, but my daughter was about 1 when I first started, and she was driving me insane at home. And so my mom was like, you have got to like meet some mom friends, because I didn't have any mom like friends that lived close to me. I was like the only one out of my friends that had kids. So I started a mom's group, and I just like found this website called meetup.com, and I created my own group, and I was just hoping to meet like 5 or 10 people. And it's grown to now over like 530 people in the group. And it's been awesome because we have a Facebook group too, which I'm the admin of, so I can control everything that goes on in the group. So for me, that's how I bring on a lot of people, as far as like when people request to join the group, I only add people probably like once a week to the group, but I tag everybody in the group, everybody that I'm like adding in, welcoming them to the group. And then I do like a little welcome post, and I send them all a welcome message, just letting them know who I am. And then I friend request them. And then a lot of times by that point, they feel comfortable like accepting my friend request. And so that's kind of how I like recruit for my challenge groups. I don't do any like cold invites. Like I let people come to me instead of me like chasing people down, because I literally hate like when other people from other MLMs like just message me about something random, like, here, buy my wraps. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even want your wraps. So that has really helped me. Like a lot of the moms of my team are moms that are local, and they found me through my group. So that's been really, really helpful for me. So I feel like that's something that's kind of like a unique way of bringing people on that are in my niche. But like I said, I struggle with finding people that are like me, as far as have like the desire to really work hard and, work their business every day. So I'm working on that. So I hope that like in this group, like somehow we can all kind of mastermind ways that we can find rock star coaches, because that's something that I totally like need help doing. So yeah, so I'm gonna pass it to, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. I'm Amber, and I'm a 1-star diamond and 2-star qualifying. And I'm from Crystal River, Florida. And what else did you say? What was my goal for the end of the year, right? I don't know if you guys are talking about like for December, but the whole time that I've been a coach, my goal is like for my 1-year coaching anniversary, which is March the 1st of next year. So, I mean, ideally I'd like to be 5-star by the time that December, the end of December. I think it's the 20 something that we have to be qualified by for that bonus or whatever. But by next year in March, by my 1-year anniversary, my goal is to be 8-star diamond. So I think that if I push really hard and at least get to 5 by December, that I could get to 8 by my anniversary, which will be March. And I also have an income goal too, not just rank, because I don't think that like I don't really focus on rank that much. I know it's important, but I'm more of like, I have certain goals for my family financially, so I try to set goals based on income. And that's just my personality. So I know that I have to help certain team members get to diamond or whatever to hit that, but that's how I set goals for myself, because that's what I'm motivated by, is by financial freedom and stuff like that. So how I recruit, and I have a lot of people on my team pushing really, really hard. I have probably between my account and my husband's account, maybe like a little over 50 coaches that are active right now. And I would say probably a good 25 of them are pushing. Some of them are discounts. Some of them are like in and out, like they're here one day, gone the next, or they'll post 1 week. And then 1 week they come to me and they're like, I don't know if this is for me. But I would say I have like a good solid 25 of them that are like, yes, I want to hit diamond. I want to leave my job. I want to do this. I call them my lifers. Like, I know my lifers on my team, and those are the people that I've talked to and I've said, like, I'm in this for life. Are you in this for life? And if you're not, that's okay. If you want to walk, I'll walk with you. If you don't even want to walk at all and you just want the discount, that's fine too. But I have spoke with them and said, like, this is me. This is where I'm going. I have certain goals, and is that you too? Because I really think it's important that when you bring on a coach, that you don't push your goals on them, that you let them tell you their goals. And then you say, okay, I got it. Let me meet you halfway. Because in the beginning, I was so like, I don't know if the other two know this, but I went diamond in 30 days. I was so like just blowing through everything and like signing up people like crazy. And I didn't even know what I was doing. That what happened is all of those people that I signed up in the first 30 days dropped out. And it was because I was like, go, 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 go. And they signed up during that time, but they weren't ready to go, go, go. They weren't ready to take it at that pace. And I was like, come on, let's go. Let's, we're going to do this and that. And I didn't even know what I was doing. So I wasn't like, it took until now, like now is my 6th month of coaching, to like really step back and say, okay, a leader doesn't do that. A leader like touches everyone personally and says, where are you at this point, and what type of coach are you? And they remember that, and they treat that person with that in mind. So that's something that's been really, really beneficial to me, is that when I started putting that out there, like, hey, you guys, like, I'm one of those people that pushes hard every month, that has no trouble posting, has no trouble cold inviting, has no trouble talking to new people. And I'm going to be here for life, but is that you? And if not, it's okay. That really kind of changed everything for me, because now I have a lot more people pushing, because some of them came out and was like, yeah, I am in this for life. So that gave me like a different perspective of them than what I thought, and helped me to help them. And then others that I thought maybe in this for life were like, I'm not, like, I don't want to take it at that pace. I don't want to like recruit 10 coaches a month. I just want to see how it goes. And so that gave me a whole different perspective of how to lead my team. And that's like, at this point, having that many coaches, if I don't learn how to like truly lead them and like help them, then eventually they're all going to drop out. I mean, that's just the name of the game. And that's why we see this happening where people like sign up with someone, then they cancel for 6 months, and then they sign up with someone else. And it's because the person that they signed up with didn't know how to lead them or didn't know how to connect with them and like bridge that gap. So I'm learning that, and a lot of it's through personal development because I have to learn to like tone myself down and let other people tell me what they need and stuff like that. So I'm getting better at that. So that's changed, and it's brought a lot of my business builders like out of the just not doing anything, and like really I'm working with them side by side. But how I got those business builders was by asking for them. And that's it. I mean, I tell my team all the time, you get what you ask for. And if you're not asking people, if you're too shy to like say, hey, you would make a great coach, and no, I don't know you, but you know what, you could do what I do, and I believe in you, and I see something in you that maybe you don't even see in yourself. If you're not willing to say that to someone, you're not going to get those people. And they'll go to someone who tells them that they think they would be a good coach. And so that's what I've learned is like, at this point, I don't have any shame in like messaging somebody that has 20 coach friends. I know they've probably been hit up before. I know that I see other coaches like liking their stuff and commenting and trying to recruit them or like form that relationship with them. But I don't let that stop me because I don't know if any of those coaches have taken the time to tell that person, hey, you would be good at this and I want you on my team. And sometimes even if they have like messaged them before, they haven't done it in the right way. And so it's like when you learn to do it in the right way and you make it about them and not about you, then you're more likely. Like I've had people tell me like, oh, I've had a ton of people message me, but you're the only one that actually seems sincere. And so I think it's important that we learn about same thing, like focusing on our team, focusing on like, how could this help the other person? And not just about like, oh, I need to recruit this person. So that's helped me a lot. And I've built my whole business on cold inviting. I ran out of my warm market in like 2 weeks because I went straight to diamond. So I was asking everybody and talking to everybody that I already knew. So everything that I've done for the last 6 months is cold. And I try to make it like warm a little bit by liking, commenting, interacting, trying to like post things so that I can get those people that are my niche to like my stuff. Because I feel like once they start liking your stuff and commenting, then it's not really that awkward. Like they're obviously watching you. They obviously like what you're posting and who you are. So that takes the uncomfortable out for me, if that makes sense. So that's it. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, that was super helpful for me. At the end, I want to kind of hear like your procedure for how you cold invite, like what your messages sound like. I think that would maybe be helpful. Samantha, do you want to go next?
Yep, I'll go next. And with what Amber said too, a lot of us, like I live in Homosassa, Lecanto, which is really close to where Amber lives, I think like 20 minutes or so. I'm a 1-star diamond, also under Jen Rabley. End of the year, try to star push as well as everyone else. But I know something that we really learned, or at least I learned quickly, is we all would do these, pushes together, and we would all be sending the same scripted invite. And it became, like she said, so important to not only just personalize them, but make it sound like you, because most of these people, whether you know it or not, they've been watching your posts. And if you message them and it sounds nothing like, your other posts, it's going to be like an automatic no. And another thing that I started, because when I first started, I was a lot like Amber and you too, Mackenzie. I didn't like, this cold made me a little, anxious. I liked warm inviting people coming to me, but I started running out of those really quick. So I kind of just backed off because I didn't want to annoy people. And then I started realizing, you know, I'm getting all these messages from like Unique and, you know, Roden and Fields and all this stuff. And when they message me, never once have I been like, oh, how dare you message me? You know, sometimes I'll read it and maybe not respond, but I'm never like offended. So it kind of just made me feel like if someone reads it and doesn't answer, that doesn't mean they hate my face and they don't want anything to do with me. You know, it just, maybe it's not their time. So that kind of opened up the doors a little bit for me being a little bit more confident with my invites. And I think it made me sound a little bit more like I believed in what I was doing than, you know, scared behind the computer. Oh, I sent it off. Yay. But one of the things that I've been doing is after this recent influx of all these new coaches, my Facebook, you know, in Citrus County kind of became, everyone knew someone that was a coach, and I wasn't seeing very much luck. So I have 90% went to Instagram. I do all my inviting there. So I guess my tips are a little bit different, but what I do is like I have like a little list, and I'll go through and I'll see kind of like, you know, liking interacting with people who I think would be good coaches that are into fitness, that are moms, that, you know, have kids around the same age as me, and I'll like their stuff. I'll comment on their stuff. Once I see their post on my stuff, then I'll follow them. I have like a little like algorithm, and then within a week I send them an invite, and it's proven to be kind of beneficial because Instagram is still so like there's not a lot of people there, so it's kind of an opportunity to get people that don't know what Beachbody is. And on Facebook, you know, most people have heard of Beachbody or know a coach, but on Instagram, it's not so like flooded with coaches yet. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't know if that really helps because I don't know if you guys are really big on Instagram, but I'm willing to help in any way that I can because it's really worked for me. My last 4 really big coaches I got from Instagram. So that's it, I guess.
No, I think that's super helpful because I'm always looking for ways to do something different because, you know, like you said, like, you know, Facebook, I feel like is starting to kind of get to a place where it can be not saturated, but it's like people have heard, they kind of know, you know, they might know of Shakeology or know of a coach or know of, you know of the programs, but Instagram's always kind of scared me in a way because I'm not a big like photo person. And so I feel like I've kind of shied away from that, even though I think it's one of those things that like we overcomplicate things when it really doesn't need to be complicated. So yeah, I'm interested.
The thing I like about Instagram is that people don't like question whether they know you or not. It's like people just follow you and they don't care if they know you or if you have mutual friends or they don't like question. I feel like on Facebook, people are weird about it. They're like, you send them a friend request and they're like, do I know you? Are you crazy? You know, like, are you trying to sell me something? And on Instagram, they're just like, oh, follow back. They don't care.
That's a good picture. Follow. Like,
yeah, that's
funny. Follow.
It's so much more open and not like awkward. I don't know.
Well, maybe I need to like hop over there. I don't know. It's funny how you have like certain things that are like that's probably totally like one of my frogs. But I'm like always like, because I have a lot of friends that are on Instagram, but I'm always like, what do I post there? Like I don't know what to post about over there. It's so different.
I post the same things over there. Like I post it from Instagram to my Facebook, every single thing.
Me too.
So it just links. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a really smart way to do it because then you're not having to like, you don't find that like your people are getting like double, I guess maybe because you have different, not everybody has Facebook, not everybody has.
I have a lot of different, like whenever I first decided to use my Instagram, like I went through and like unfollowed a lot of people like that were like, you know, my Facebook friends or like, you know, I'm like, okay, you guys aren't, you know, what I'm looking for. So like everyone on my Instagram is like completely different. Like there are people that I've sought out to like get, you know, not get, you know what I mean? Like they're my people. Like they're the ones that I want to do this with me. So I researched and I, you know, found the people that are like me.
You can also go to like certain people's Instagram, like say there's like a children's clothing boutique that's on there. And like, everybody that follows that boutique is going to be moms that have money to spend. And like, so then you go and follow those followers. So that way it's like, that's your niche. So that helps too. Like, whereas on Facebook, you don't know what someone's like or like what they like, what they're interested in until you friend them and like learn about them.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like excuse me. I feel like that's a really good point about people on Instagram are much more likely and much more open to following other people that they don't know. Like when I was on Instagram and really like I honestly haven't been on it in months, but when I was on it, I did find that to be true. Like so much. Do you guys search like hashtags or?
Yeah, sometimes.
You guys find that like there's that's a good idea about like the clothing boutique. I think it's just like having to like Facebook for me is kind of like my comfort zone. And so like, I know how to do it and I've been doing it and it's been working that way, but I feel like eventually like we're going to have to like branch out to do something different.
I just watched a call from Anita Myron and she said like, if you should focus on one at a time, but once you perfect it, you have to like grow, because if you've already perfected one, you're never going to grow. Like you're going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you feel like you've perfected it, then it's like time to like change it up a little bit and like then perfect something else. And then you've got two, things that you perfected. So for some people it's like a blog or, whatever.
Yeah, that's where I'm stuck at, is now moving away from like pages to something else. So I think Instagram is next. It's the big thing with the younger crowd now. I guess they don't even have, not that my niche market is a younger crowd, but they don't even have Facebook as much anymore. They just have Instagram. So I think it's slowly moving over, unfortunately.
I know people are like leaving Facebook and I mean, also the thing like about Facebook is it's so frustrating just the way that they do the algorithms and the way that they're constantly changing things. So it's like, I feel like you want.
Oh, I love it.
You do?
It's like my drug. I freaking love the algorithms and like pages and everything.
I think that in a way, like it's good because it does keep things like you have
it's complicated
to learn. And like you can't just get super comfortable.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Instagram's kind of been one of those things where I've totally just put it off. And I feel like I need, like, it's been kind of like on my list and I'm just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, me too.
I do what Sam does. I post every day through Instagram and link it to my Facebook. So both, both platforms see the same thing, but I don't invite through Instagram and I don't really go on there and like and comment and connect. Like,
right, same here.
Yeah. So like if there's people and they feel inspired, the other thing that I do on Instagram, because I'm not as present there as far as like actually making connections, is I put my Facebook profile link in my Instagram account. So that way, like if they truly wanted to find me and talk to me, they would go and add me on Facebook.
Right.
And Samantha, you connect with people through Instagram?
I do. Like I go through and I comment back, I message, like I took a couple courses on Instagram and that's where I'm at the majority of the time. Just 'cause I think that's what I need to do for my business, because Facebook is just kind of dried up for me. So like I'm on Instagram a lot. But it's also like with the things that they've done, Hadley, I can't see. With the new changes that they've made, it's a lot easier to do. Like you can do it like it's quick.
They just updated it and it's like awesome now.
They're gonna have ads too.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
So Anna, let's like hear from you about how you recruit.
I'm Anna. Sam and Amber know me. We're all on the same little team, but my coach is Stephanie McGee, and sorry I'm driving to the chiropractor, guys. I'm a diamond coach, and what else did I need?
What's your push goal?
Oh, I want to do 2-star premiere by December, so that's my goal. And was that it for
Yeah, just kind of like your intro. So now, like, how do you recruit? What are like your best practices? Like, what do you find works best for you?
Okay, so for me, Facebook like pages are primarily my business. So I get all of my coaches, majority from ads, or I get people from like that friend me from my challenge group ads, things like that, and then I go from there to bring them in as coaches through my groups. But majority of my coaches come from my coaching ads, which I make an ad and then I have the link to my sneak peek each week. I do a sneak peek every single Monday, and I have the link in the comment section of my ad, and they can add themselves to the sneak peek. And then when they do, I reach out, add them as a friend, interact with them, and I find this really cuts out the crap in between, because I know they're interested, and I know that coaching has attracted them in some way through my ad. So this has been a big help for me. And then they either, accept through the sneak peek or not. This month and last month have been pretty slow since it's, I guess, coming into the slow time. But hopefully I can change the ad up and up it for holidays and things like that. But other than that, for coaches, I do through challenge groups. So like Amber said, I'll reach out if it's someone that, that's really the only time I reach out, honestly. I don't think I've sent a cold invite out since last December. So my ads and like page pretty much do everything for me. Which, I mean, I guess if I cold invited, I'd probably be higher than where I am, but I'm okay with what the road I'm on, the path I'm on right now. So, yeah, I that's the only time I really reach out, is if I do see someone like Amber said that, I would love to have on my team. And I'm very much about, I only want the people that are like me, that are my, my tribe. Like I know a lot of us like to say. I've dealt with just inviting absolutely anybody to be on my team. And, I know that sounds selfish, but if I can tell we're not going to get along, I don't want to work with them. That's the benefit, I think, of being a business owner. And of course, I'm never going to exclude anybody or, anything like that. But I think reaching out does make it something where I do feel genuine when I'm saying, hey, I would really, like to talk to you about this opportunity, things like that. Then I don't feel like I'm lying or pulling anybody into, on false pretenses. So that's just kind of how I do it. And I'm happy with where it's at so far, so can't really complain.
How many likes do you have on your like page?
I'm like 40 away from 3,000, I think.
And have you, like, how do you run a lot of ads to get people to, like, how do you funnel people to your like page?
They just like from seeing the ads usually. So, I don't pay for likes anymore. I did in the beginning, but, I, like from seeing the ads, they'll like the page, because there's a little button right there. Mm-hmm. I only run ads on Sundays. So I pay like $50 every Sunday. I do $25 towards a coach ad, $25 towards my challenge group ad, and bring people in from there. Now I'm primarily focusing on coaches, so I haven't really run my challenge group ad as much. And Facebook's been frustrating me this week, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I find the likes doesn't matter as much as the interaction you're getting.
The other thing too, there was a call with Bonnie Engel. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I don't have a like page, but it like blew my mind when she said it, because I know a lot of people do. But she said never, ever, ever run an ad based on likes, because Facebook has like farms, like fake accounts that they'll send to like your page, and you're paying for that, and it's not even a real person that's going to ever do anything.
Right.
So
and then people panic, because then they see that their likes are disappearing, and their numbers are going down, and everyone focuses on the likes, but you seriously don't need a lot of likes. You can run a like page with 100 likes. It's all about the ads, and for me, I figure it's an investment, and I get it back in my taxes. So
It's always like interesting to hear. Like I'm always like, this is why I feel like this is going to be really good for, even if we do just have like a small group of like hopping on these calls, because I feel like there's so many different ways of doing this that it is so intriguing to me to see how other people do it. Like I have a like page and I get so frustrated with it because I think because it's one of those things that's like kind of like a mystery to me, or it's like changing all the time of how do I make it successful.
Mm-hmm.
And where I feel like I don't have enough content to put on there. Like, I don't know.
I think that's where new coaches almost get like caught up too, is because like, look at on this call, there's 4 of us, we're all successful in the business, but we all do it a different way. And it's like, when you're new, if you try to try everything, you're going to struggle and nothing's ever going to like really take off because you're focusing in too many shiny things, you know? And so like, I always tell my coaches, like, if you haven't perfected your personal page, like, don't think that a like page is just going to take off because it's public. You know, if you haven't perfected one thing, or like really sit down and think about like what will work for you. Like Sam said, she already knew that her personal page was running out and it was just not going anywhere. So she was like, all right, I'm going to learn and take classes and, you know, really focus on something else. So I think that's important to tell our coaches too, is like, don't get distracted by all the shiny stuff.
And don't try and be somebody else. I think that's the biggest problem. That's what I did for a whole year in this business. I didn't go anywhere for a whole freaking year because I was just bouncing all over the place and wasn't training myself and diving into myself. And the moment I did that, you know, it all changed. So I think that's the hardest part for them, is they see shiny people and shiny objects and they want to copy. So they have to find themselves. And I spent so much time, you know, on the like pages and every single training and podcast I can get my hands on. So that helps too.
Yeah, I think that's such like a crucial, I probably don't say that enough with my team about perfecting one thing before moving on. Because I tend to like, I'm totally one of those people where I get distracted.
ADD.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, I'm going to, you know, instead of really just focusing on what I like to do, because, you know, I think that's another important thing is like, I have a blog, but I'm not like, I don't love writing. So for me, like blogging hasn't been super successful because to me, it takes so much time. And I like things that are like fast and easy. Yeah. And I feel like for me, but I think a lot of times people hear like, oh, you know, Melanie Mitchell has a really successful blog, so I should have a blog. So people go out and start a blog when they have no clue what they're doing, and then it just sits there, and it's the same.
Or they're not good writers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I admit 100% to my own, you know, like that I felt like that was the direction I needed to go, and it just didn't pan out the way that I thought because I didn't really love doing it.
Right.
So I think finding the thing that you love doing, or that, you know, you feel like works best with your personality and your lifestyle, then in using that. So like, you know, people that are, you know, like that love taking pictures, Instagram is a great place for that. So I think that's a really good point too. And the fact that, yeah, I mean, we're all 4 different coaches on that, you know, are all successful, but have all done it in a different way. And I think that that's like really just like the proof that it doesn't necessarily matter how you do it, but the fact that you like do something, you know, and you don't get caught up in all of the things. And you just, because I think that that's another huge thing like that my team struggles with is they have a bazillion tools, like every tool that they could possibly need, every call, every like, you know, every resource at their disposal, but yet they don't do, it's like information overload to the point that they don't do anything.
Or they want you to do it for them.
Yes.
So I think that's my biggest struggle.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that like
you guys set expectations like on your, like your first call with them. Do you set expectations based on what they tell you?
I just started doing that, like 2 months ago, and it's definitely helped. I mean, the ones that I did it with, I've noticed a difference because they hit Success Club every month, or they're posting and they're finding things out on their own. So I do think that helps.
Yeah.
Like you said, the run, you run, I'll run kind of thing.
Yeah.
I say exactly that.
I like let them like vomit all over me, word vomit, like all of their goals, dreams, all of this stuff. And I just sit and listen. And then I say, like, I kind of like repeat it back to them. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that you would like to work from home, leave your full-time job, blah, blah. Well, this is what you have to do to build a solid business. And in the beginning, I was kind of like, well, like, if you want to, you could try to help 3 people, because I was afraid that they were going to want to quit. Like, I was afraid to like set those goals, and because I thought they were going to be like, oh, that's not what I want to do. So now I'm like, okay, well, this is what you're telling me. So this is what you have to do. And those people that I was like, write this down, this is what you need to do. And then like, I'll tell them after this first call, in a week, I'm going to call you again. And we're going to talk about, did you complete the training? Did you message 3 to 5 people? Have you been consistent in your posts? Like, let's reconnect again. And that's like an accountability thing where they're like, oh, she's calling next week. She's going to be on me next week. So that helps too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are all really good points. I think that was my initial fear too, was scaring people off by setting expectations. And then I wasted so much time doing that. And I've actually just recently gotten really hard on them, as far as like, I had so many people that were just dragging, and they were kind of dragging me. And I felt a lot of them I'm friends with. And so a lot of them felt like they could use our friendship kind of as a crutch for me to do things for them, or for me to like cut them slack. And the last like month, let's see, it's probably been close to a month now. I went through like a really like a phase where I was just really struggling like personally with just like where they were at. And I had to have kind of like a come to Jesus talk, like with myself, of like, okay, what's the worst that can happen if I like, lay the law down as far as the boundaries that I'm setting for myself, as far as being their leader and what I'm willing to do for them. What's the worst thing that could happen? And I was like, well, they could all quit. Like, and then I was like, okay, well, what does that mean for me? And for me, it was like, well, that doesn't really change anything for me, as far as that doesn't mean I'm going to quit. So it's actually been really good. So I started this accountability group for basically my people that said they wanted to be business builders, and that kept calling themselves business builders, but weren't doing anything. And it's been really good. We're like 2 weeks into the group, and basically it's just an accountability group where they have to post like at the end of the day, every day, well, at least 5 times a week, they have to post like basically their activities for the day, what they did. And they have certain like requirements, like they have to send so many friend requests. They have to connect with so many people. They have to do at least 30 minutes of personal development. And they all agreed to this list before I let them be in the group. And it's been really good so far. I think a lot of times, like lately, people are having like these aha moments of like what it's really like to work to actually do a full power hour. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, I think, thought they were doing that, and they were not doing that. And so it's actually been really good. But I really do feel like that's kind of one of those really key pieces, is setting the expectations and setting the boundaries as far as like what you're going to do for them and what you expect them to do as well. I don't know if you guys follow Lindsay. I'm sure you guys probably will do, but Lindsay Matway had a really good post today about developing leaders, and basically,
oh yeah, I read that.
Yeah, like you cannot expect people by like giving and expect them to like want to do something. Like there has to be like a give and take, and they have to be willing to meet you halfway. And being directly under Lindsay, I think sometimes people think like there's this glitz and glam of having Lindsay as your upline, and the reality is it's so not like that. Like you don't get a lot of one-on-one time with her, and you don't unless you produce results. And so I think that's like a really important, for me, I know that's a piece that I'm struggling with. I'm getting a lot better about now, but I think for me mentally, because I swear I worked for like a year of just like we're going to do this together. Like, we can all do this together. And it really meant like me doing everything and expecting them to like want to help take responsibility for things, as far as like doing challenge groups and like sneak peeks and all those things. And it really turned out to me running everything and them just not really doing anything.
I just did that, but I did a group message, like found out who my lifers were, put them all in a group message, and I give them daily like encouragement, but also like an assignment. Like, I want to see everybody in this group post a coaching op today. And you'll see, if you watch my team, it's like everybody does the same thing on the same day. And that's because the ones that are building a business, if I say post a video that get out of your comfort zone today, all of them do it. And then you see videos like crazy of all my coaches, but it creates momentum and it gives them like a specific thing that they have to do. And sometimes people just need you to say like, okay, do this today. That's how we're trained our whole childhood, is you go to school and then you get a job and somebody's going to tell you what to do your whole life. So like part of being a leader is kind of like giving them that direction and that push that says like, okay, go do this today. And I want to see it, you know? And then I ask them like, tell me how it went. Tell me how the response was. And that gets all of my leaders not only like excited when somebody else is like, I just posted my video and I already got a message. Then that like somebody that hasn't done the assignment yet is like, oh, I need to go do that. So
I bet they like seeing each other's too.
Yes, it inspires them. It gets their creative juices flowing and makes you think about things that other people on the team are thinking about and like growing that maybe you're not there yet. And it's more of like, it's a healthy push other than like a comparison type thing. Because in this group, they are so connected. They're like, it's insane. It gives me chills, you know, that it's like a true tribe, you know. And they're in there answering each other's questions when I can't get to it and throwing out suggestions that I'm like, what? I didn't even think of that. You know, I was telling Sam about that. So it's been really awesome.
That's great. So we have like 5 more minutes. Amber, I'm curious how you cold invite. So like, what is your procedure as far as like, if you see somebody that you feel like would be a good coach, but you haven't really connected with them or they haven't been in your groups or anything, what is your like procedure for how you invite?
Okay. I have, you know how you can create a friends list on Facebook? Like, you can name it whatever you want and they can't see that they're in it. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so over on the left-hand side of your Facebook, you can click people and like you could add family or you could add whatever you want, create this little group and you can add people into that. So I have one called potentials and those are people that like say I'm like, it's past my business hours, but I just happen to be like aimlessly scrolling on Facebook or whatever. And I see somebody, I'm watching TV and they like post a picture with their kid and I'm like, oh, who is that? You know, where did she come from? And like, look at their page. I add them to that list so that way when I'm ready to invite, because I'm like not somebody who works off paper, like structure, I'm not organized at all. I'm like really all over the place and I'm getting better at that. But that list allows me to like the next day, click on that potentials and see all the people that I've added in there that I think would make great coaches just from like something I've seen or they popped up somewhere. So then I'll go through that when I'm ready to invite and I just go to their page, like a couple of things. And then I send them a message that just says like, hey, you know, I don't know. It's like, it's always different depending on the person because I try to get a feel for who they are before I actually send the message. Like if they have a family or if they're a lot of mutual friends or something like that, I'll say, I know we have a lot of mutual friends. I'm not sure if we ever met in person, but I love following you and seeing your post about your family. You know, your little boy is so cute. And I try to start it off really personal. And then I just say, hey, I don't know if you know this about me or not, but this is what I do. And is that something you'd be interested in? And to me, it's like, they can not answer. They could say yes or they say no, and it doesn't change how I feel about it at all. Like it's not a personal thing. And it was at first, it was really, really hard because when people said like no or seemed irritated or didn't answer at all, I felt like it was something I was doing wrong, like maybe I'm annoying. But the thing is like over time of doing that, almost all of those people that didn't answer me or said no have come back and are now either a customer or a coach.
Yep.
And so sometimes people need that person that like just has the balls to reach out to them and say, hey, I think you would be great. I want to present this opportunity to you. And then it puts it in the back of their mind, because from that message on, no matter what they do with the message, whether you talk to them for an hour or they don't respond or they say no, from that point on, you are in the back of their mind. And from that point on, your stuff is going to show up in their newsfeed more. And from that point on, every time that they are late on a bill or, you know, anything that you say that connects with them, that message is going to be in their mind. So eventually it's going to stick enough to where they're like, let me give it a shot. And you never know, you know, if that could be a rock star on your team. The other thing that made it comfortable for me is that's what Jen did to me. And I'm sure she's like, all, you know, so ecstatic that I hit the ground running, even though I told her no like 3 times. I was like, no, that's not for me. That's not my thing. But in the back of my mind, I was like watching her and going, wow, like she seems to have it all together. Her life seems pretty awesome. You know, it was the lifestyle. I didn't really care anything about the health and fitness. I didn't really know if I could even do this, but her lifestyle like sucked me in, even when I told her no. And so that's something that I'm like really, because I cold invite so much, I make it a point to always post things that those like that my audience would make them say like, okay, maybe I do need to know a little bit more about this. You know, content that is like, what did Jen post that spoke to me that I can translate in my life and post to my audience, you know, that I'm like not stressing over bills, that I work from home, you know, my time with my kids, stuff like that. So that way, you know, if your Facebook posts are just like, oh, look at this person's results. Oh, Shakeology is awesome. Nobody connects with that. And that message that you sent, they're going to be like, she just wanted me to buy something.
Yep.
But if you're like speaking from your heart and you're like, look what this has done and this is my life, like, look, this is living proof, then that message is going to be like just this reminder. So
yeah, you post for what you want. I remember hearing that before. You post like you want coaching
for what you want.
You post about coaching. That's been my thing lately, just posting all about that. And people come to you because you've messaged them or talked to them in the past. You're exactly right.
I think it was Miguel said he doesn't even run challenge groups.
No, a lot. I've been hearing that a lot lately. Amy Silverman doesn't run them, and neither does.
He's like, that's not how you build income. You
No,
build income by helping someone for 21 days. You build income by changing someone's life, and that's
I've been seeing that a lot lately. Kelly and I were talking about it, switching over. We have a little like success, like they're our success partners, so we've been like talking about it in our chat. And who's Pearson, Chelsea Pearson, Amy. All of them, none of them do groups, and I love that idea because challenge groups are my weakness. I am horrible at them. So I really like the idea of like an ongoing group like that.
Yep.
It's pretty.
I've already done that. I've already made the switch. My group is always
I'm ready.
You can come and go and you can do whatever you want with it. I'm there to encourage you. But the thing is like you posting about challenge groups and getting so caught up and getting somebody to buy a challenge pack is not going to grow your business.
Right, exactly.
It's going to help you for that minute when they sign up. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for your actual business and all of that. So
I'm ready to do the switch. I love that idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the chiropractor, ladies. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about to hop off. Thanks for getting on, Anna.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, I feel like I have like so many aha moments. That was like really good. I feel like just like just being able to get other people's perspectives on things, and like that's so thinking of. I've like thought about that as far as challenge groups go too. I'm like, I'm so bored to death with them, and I haven't quite figured out like how to just fully make the switch over, but.
My weakness is organization. So my thing is like when you go from one group to the next, I can't keep track. I just am not that person that keeps lists or keeps like a calendar or anything. So I can't keep track of like who was in the last group, who wants to be in this one, who's new, who's that. So now it's like, okay, as soon as you purchase, you go in this group and you can opt out whenever you want. Otherwise, you could stay in as long as you'd like. And then I don't have to keep track of them. It's like they do it for themselves. And that's also like something like, you know, challengers are the same as coaches. The people that want it are going to do it. The people that don't are not going to. So.
Such a good point.
Do you still post daily assignments in there, or is it kind of just like a catch-all?
Yeah, I asked them, like, I post things that have like a call to action. So like this morning I posted a picture of what I made for breakfast and I asked them what they were having. And I like for them to, you know, post in the group. And then what I did in order to, for like new people that are coming on like weeks after this started, is everything that they need to know as far as meal plan, tips and tricks, grocery list, all of that is in the files tab. So when they buy a challenge pack and I add them, I say, I'm about to add you to the, you know, to the VIP group, and you can find all of that information in the files tab, and you can go ahead and review and print that before you even get your program, because you can start eating according to the plan. You could start making those minor changes now and getting to know everybody in the group. And that way, when you get your stuff, you'll be ready to go. So that kind of like puts it off on them. Like, I'm not going to be here to like, you know, make you do this. All the information is there for you. And, you know, if you need anything, please let me know. But that group is set up to where they can, and like I said, the ones that are really doing it, you'll see them post and comment and like, and I don't tag anybody in the group. I'm not going to drag anybody or call anybody out. They know that 7 a.m. every morning, there'll be a post from me in there. And sometimes I do one at night too. Like if I feel like the group has been slow for the day, I try to post in the evening, because some people just don't, they either miss it in the morning or they're at work all day. So they will interact in the evening, and that keeps like kind of the momentum going. So, and I just find like quotes, recipes, and my sweaty selfies. I post in there a sweaty selfie almost every day, whether I post it on my personal Facebook or not, because I want them to know that like I'm really doing this. I don't just say that I work out. You know, I actually have to put in the work too. And it's been awesome so far. Oh, the other thing that I did, which I never did in the beginning, is before I let them in the group, they have to send me their photos. And that was like something that I let it go, because, you know, in our thing, it says like you should send your photos to your coach, but nobody was doing it. And so I tell them, like, you're paying for this program specifically, and you get me for free, and my job is to keep you accountable. And the only way I can do that is if you send me your photos and your measurements and all of that, and I already know your goals. And then, you know, at the end of the 21 days, I'll need them again. And like, you know, it also reminds them that they're going to have to compare at the end of the 21 days. And it's like, I get to see it too. So I think that's a little bit more motivating for them to like not skip workouts and stuff.
That's good. I like that idea. I'm like trying to figure out how I can. Do you allow like your downline to put people? Is it like your whole team puts people in that group, or just your?
Yes.
So
I told them probably just last week. I told them that they have to start. They all need to set a date to start running their own groups, and I don't care how they do it. If they want to do one new one a month, or if they do an ongoing, because I think that puts some responsibility on their end. Like, you can't always count on me to run everything. But I tell them, you know, once they set that date, if it's next month or the month after, in the in-between, go ahead and put your people in my group so you can see how I'm doing things, but then I want you to branch off. So I won't let them do that forever. But you're always bringing on new people. So, you know, the group stays pretty full.
I love that idea.
The other thing, actually the idea where I got about like making everybody send me a photo is that I had a challenger who I thought she would be really, really good. And she seemed really excited. And I thought she would actually eventually be a coach. And she wound up not even doing her program, returning it. And when I reached out to her about it and just said like, hey, you know, I'm sorry it didn't work out. Was there anything I could do? And she told me that she decided in between, like while her program was in the mail, that she wanted to go with a personal trainer instead. And her personal trainer like made her send her photos, made her take her measurements, made her like do all that stuff. And so she felt more accountable to the trainer than to me. And that was a big eye-opening experience for me. I could have been like, oh, I can't believe she did that. But to me, it was like, okay, well, like maybe that's what works for people who are really unmotivated. So I just implemented that in my challenge group, and I do it in a really nice way. But I just explained to them, you know, that this is my way of doing my job. And if you didn't want my help, you wouldn't have reached out to me, or you wouldn't have, you know, purchased your program from me. So I haven't had any trouble so far. And I think it helps with the accountability level.
So you have them send your pictures to you before you add them in to the group?
Yes.
And then that way, that's kind of like their like pass to get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really
because if you let them in and you let them get started, or you wait too long, then it's like they either won't respond to you, or they're like they don't want to, or they're like, oh well, I already started, so it's not really my before picture or whatever. And it's like all these excuses. So to me, it's like the other thing too is like, you ever notice how when you talk to somebody, they actually buy, they're like all gung-ho and they're ready to do it and they're excited and pumped. You have to get them to do everything you want them to do in that moment. Because if they get their program and it's not what they thought it was, or they feel like they can't do it, they slowly run out of steam, and you're never going to get them to do, you know, what you need them to do at that point. It's like too late. Just like they say, recruit within the first week to coaching, because that's when they're fired up. That's when they're pumped. Same thing with that. It's like, if you wait till week 2 to ask for accountability picture, they're going to be like, you know? So that's my way, is like, I can't feel bad for asking for that. If somebody felt comfortable spending $160 and going through me, there obviously is something that they need from me. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yay, I'm excited. So I'm gonna end this so that we're not like taking so much time of each other's days.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys so much for being on, and I will, if you guys want the recording, once it gets done, I'll post it in the group so everybody has it. But we can start brainstorming topics. Like if there's something that you guys really want to talk about for next week, maybe we can, just on that same thread, or we can create a new thread or something, or we can do like, maybe I'll just create a file or something, and we can have everybody kind of edit it, like the things that they want to talk about that they feel like would be helpful. So, because I would love to I would love to even have like Anna do maybe like a 30-minute call or something on like how she does her like page, or Samantha, have you do something like specifically on how you do your Instagram. Because I feel like there's just like, like we were saying, there's so many different ways of doing this. And I'm totally intrigued to hear how other people do it, to see how I can tweak my approach. But thank you guys. So I really appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and I'll post it in the group once it's all done uploading. So have an awesome day, and I will see you guys later.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys too.